really pleased to be at the Oceanographic Center, as I said a minute ago. I wanted to just share with you that I've compiled a few, not necessarily very well integrated comments about the issue of the politics of climate change. I think many of you, of course, know this, but politics and science often are at odds with each other, and very often there is a essentially conceptual disconnect. I wanted to get my ideas clear. That's why I recorded this this afternoon here on February 10th, so that I could, before the excitement of our get-together, tell you that one of the greatest problems in successful policy making is, in fact, that the actors in the process, which is scientists, politicians, and interest groups, all kinds of interest groups, are often talking either past each other, above each other in some other way, simply not understanding each other's culture. And, there was a famous discussion about a world of two cultures. Well, I think we have a world at least of three cultures. One is the culture of science. And in science, we have certain basically philosophical perspectives. We have a scientific method. We have a rigorous notion that we want to use tools in order to discover what can only be described as the truth. And that's a culture that is very precise and exact and sometimes very impatient with the other two cultures. One of the other cultures is the political culture, and the political culture is essentially a very complicated set of circumstances in which individuals and organizations attempt to control the policymaking machine and become the power brokers for major issues. And their interests are the interest of visibility, getting elected, getting reelected, and maintaining their position so that they can either be public servants or can pursue sometimes their own agenda as well as a larger agenda. So politicians behave in ways, I think, that are somewhat different in their perspective, in their objectives than scientists. And the third culture is the culture of society, in which people do have interests, in which people have very limited amounts of time to inform themselves, have very limited information very often. And in 2010, we are dealing with issues that have a level of complexity that is so enormous that it is understandable that most people are confused, can't really clearly understand how to make decisions, what are the right choices, and are therefore very easily both misinformed or uninformed. And that means that when scientists have a point to make, they need to be able to communicate that to policymakers on the one hand, but on the other hand, they need to understand that the public is very skittish, vulnerable, and has different priorities, and often is not very well informed. And so between those, the three cultures of global climate change, I think we are seeing results that are not very encouraging. And I think all of the other discussions about climate change ought to be informed by the three cultures that I'm suggesting that we have. So I hope you'll ask me some questions about that, because I think that's a discussion that could enlighten me, certainly, and enlighten you as well.